Welcome to Agents and Owners Chit Chat, where we talk to local superheroes, hear how they got their start, overcame obstacles, and how they use social media to achieve their goals. For Agent and Owners social media tips, please visit www.gladmash.com. Here's this week's episode.
Welcome Emily to the stage. She's going to help us out, give us some tactics, so come on up. Moreno de Bajas, right? Thank you so much.
Oh, y'all, I'm nervous.
You're going to be fantastic.
Okay, well, I am Emily Moreno. You might know me on Instagram as Emily Black. And I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm an investor in the stock market and real estate. I'm a partner at a photography studio down the street from here. And the reason why you guys are here for my e-commerce site, which is EmShapewear. I don't know if I know a lot of familiar faces, but I don't know a lot YouTube.
Oh no.
Okay, and
I follow you on Instagram.
Really?
But,
Oh my gosh, her. So, I'll introduce EmShapewear really quick. EmShapewear is basically body shapewear, women body shapewear. And just to start with my story in the beginning is, my mom didn't want me to put her on the spot, but I'm about to put her on the spot. That's my mom right there. I got the idea of selling fajas from her. So as a teenager, she went to houses, to her friends, her coworkers, and she would sell these fajas to all these women. And all these women would feel so confident when they would wear them. Like, these were talking about 40-year-old women. We're talking about women that are married with kids, and they just don't feel that confidence anymore. And like, I just enjoyed seeing that so much. And then me being a millennial, I was like, I can definitely turn this around online and give it to everyone. Everyone have access to it. And so then that's when EmShapewear was created. And I started EmShapewear in 2019. And I had just gotten out of a very toxic relationship with my first daughter's father. And I was kind of like, I was lost. I was like, I need to start something that's gonna keep me motivated, that's gonna make an impact, because I was just lost. I didn't know what to do. And that kind of pushed me to go even harder on the e-commerce side. So yeah, that's how I started with EmShapewear. I'm gonna go off of my phone because I go real off track real quick. So if y'all see me on my phone, I'm not using it. It's just I'm going off of my notes on my phone. All right. So that's my intro. I want to talk about the struggles that I have in the beginning, and still to this day, my number one struggle is right now, and still is inventory. So all of my fajas come from Colombia, and because of COVID, a lot of delays are everywhere, shipping delays, people not wanting to work, and so that's always an issue with me. In 2020 is when I really exploded, and I couldn't see the full potential my brand had because of me not having the inventory. So if anyone that's looking into starting an e-commerce site, I definitely look into where you're getting it and working with your manufacturer on shipping times, production times, and making sure you got that down pat before you make a commitment of buying a lot of inventory and all that, because that could really make it or break it, literally. I mean, that's a good thing to have, like, okay, I'm always sold out, I don't have enough inventory, but at the same time, it's not, because I can't see how much my business can grow. Another struggle that I always had was my e-commerce site. In the beginning, it wasn't optimizing. So I worked with Wix. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wix.
Yes, I have Wix.
Right? Oh, you have Wix?
Yes.
Okay. How is Wix going for you?
That's the story. I actually shut my online store down because I was really not even getting any attention. I mean, mine is more based on God, religion, and people, they love God, but they don't really pay attention to it online, so. And so I'm just trying to get myself out there more, get more recognized so I can open the store back up.
Exactly.
I don't want to keep having something I'm not getting in.
Exactly, yeah. I feel like that was kind of my thing too with Wix. So Wix is really good with designing and personalization, right? But they don't have a lot of applications to help you market out more and make your site faster, if I can say. Which I'll talk more about apps later on. But definitely my Wix website was not doing it. So the first 5 months, I was like, you know what, I can't, like, I need a change. And so I started looking at a lot of other e-commerce brands, and I would see what they were using, and everyone was using like these huge brands, like even Skims. I say Skims because I always look like it's like my competition, you know. But Skims, they use Shopify too. I use Shopify, and I adore Shopify, and I live by Shopify because Shopify has done so much to help my business grow. So one of the things with the Wix website is that they didn't offer Afterpay and Apple Pay. I know everyone here uses Apple Pay. Everyone uses Apple Pay. Like, when you are going to the store, you take your Apple Pay, you're done. That is a really, really crucial thing when you're in an e-commerce site, because everything is an impulse purchase. And if you don't have Apple Pay, most of the time your customer is just going to leave. They're not even going to finish the transaction. So I lost a lot of sales on my Wix because I couldn't offer Apple Pay. The other one is Afterpay. That's what I keep getting mixed up. Afterpay, do you guys know what Afterpay is?
Is that more so as they purchase it and they make the monthly payment?
Yes. Yeah. So that's when I first started, my market was mostly lower income people. And they couldn't afford to buy a $60 waist trainer, a $90 faja. And so me not being able to offer Afterpay, they were like, okay, well, I guess I'm not buying it. And I wasn't able to implement it on my site because of me having Wix. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make my switch. I switched to Shopify. I added Apple Pay. I added Afterpay, and my sales went throughout the roof with just a little change of having Apple Pay and Afterpay. It makes a really big difference. And lastly, another struggle I went through was learning my audience. Because, girl, I was marketing to like 64-year-old women. Like, don't no 64-year-old women want a faja? They're trying to live their best life without a faja. Yeah, and I was spending a lot of money and time marketing to people that it was just a waste of time and money. And it took me a while to learn my audience, and until I finally figured out being vulnerable to my future customers, to my audience. I was like, you know, this is my story. I'm a mom. I have a postpartum mom body. This is what you got. And so when I just threw myself out there, that's when I learned that my audience were moms, people that wanted just a nice figure, which are usually in their from 20s to 40s, and mostly like BBLs type of vibe. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention in the beginning. When I started EmShapewear in 2019, I wanted to look at the market as what is something that I can put out that I know is going to sell and is going to continue selling. What is trending right now? And in 2019, that's when BBLs, tummy tucks, lipos, that was everyone was starting to get. Like, it was more common to hear someone get a BBL in 2019. So I was like, okay, my fajas can give you the same effect without going to surgery. So let's get it. Let's do it. So that's what motivated me also to do the fajas. Yeah, that's it for the audience. All right, so let's go to the next topic. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna start with the nitty gritty, like marketing and business tools that I use to increase my sales. Like, this is my favorite part because I never get to talk about these. I'm gonna put it on my computer. All right, let's see. Airplay 84. All right. Present. So this is actually from my ebook. I have 2 ebooks, How to Start a Business and How to Increase Your Sales. Honestly, I put out the ebooks not to just make money because they're literally $5, but because I had so many people ask me, like messaging me like, hey, how did you start your business? How do you increase your sales? And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to make an ebook accessible for everyone to be able to see it and have the resources. So this is basically my ebook. Just, it's not as detailed, but I just put out important things that we could talk about tonight. E-commerce is really, really, really diverse, and it can go into a lot of details. So I'm just going to try to like put as much information that I can to you guys, but still try to be detailed, you know what I'm saying? So the number one and like the most important I feel with everything is clout. I know it sounds crazy, but you want to build clout on your e-commerce business, and that's with any sort of business. So the definition of clout is influence or power in political and community circles. Like, if you literally search that up, that's what pulls up. So we all fall for clout. Like, you see sis posting on her story this restaurant, like, oh, that's so nice, I want to go there. You end up going to the restaurant. You see someone wearing an outfit, you're like, oh, that's cute. Or you see someone else wearing that outfit at the mall, like, oh, that's cute, I'm going to buy that too. That all falls under clout, and you want to do that with your e-commerce site. So that goes for IG models and influencers that show their product and all that. That's another form of clout. So you're going to hear me say clout a lot. You're going to hear me say clout, psychology, and it takes a customer 5 times to see your product before they actually purchase. So those are the 3 things y'all going to hear me say continuously, so please forgive me. All right. So the power of the word of mouth. You want to always stay fresh on your potential customer's mind. So that's like posting stories all day, reposting stories, being on your feed posts, any sort of social media outlets that you have, you want to always consistently and frequently post, because you always want to be fresh on their mind. So like the example I have here, let's say a potential client, they had a really rough week. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm tired, I can't cook. I need someone to make me some meal prep. And so they're going to be like, oh, you know what? I saw post a lot the last few months. Like, they're going to remember in the back of their mind that you were posting, and they're going to reach out to you. Meanwhile, they're not going to reach out to someone else that hasn't posted in a month. They're not going to reach out to someone that has been even a few days. Whoever's the last person they saw, that's who they're going to contact. So with that being said, just posting frequently and consistently. Now, in the beginning, I know it's really, really hard to always post content and having, like, where am I going to get the content? Where am I going to post? What am I going to post? And going around the word clout, you want to post reviews. You want to post people using your product, wearing your product, raving about your product, because that just builds a clout. You see someone else wearing it, you see someone raving about it, like, oh, I'm interested. What's the call was wearing it? I want to wear it too. So the way I did it in the beginning to get reviews is I literally DM'd and emailed every single customer that I got. Personally, I would email them like, hey, I just want to reach out. How was the product for you? Was it good? If you have any concerns, you can always email me, DM me. I'm here to help you. And so, of course, they're going to be like, oh, my gosh, like, your customer service is so good. Like, no one reaches back out to me about stuff like that. I'm so happy you reached out. And so then that's when I slide in, well, do you mind leaving me a review? I can like, just take a screenshot and post it. Or if you have a selfie that I can take, let me take that selfie. And so they would send me their reviews. They would send me their selfies. And I would use that to post as content on my page. So I would post it. I would take like a whole 10 different reviews and just post it on my feed or post it on my story. And just doing it so frequently that people just automatically do it now. So every day, EmShapewear gets people sending reviews, and they just screenshot it and post it on the story. My social media team, they screenshot it, post it on the story, because of clout. Someone sees someone else doing it, so they're gonna do it too. So it just gets to the point where people are just gonna repetitively do it without you even asking. So you're helping with customer service, and you're helping getting reviews for you to post. I'm going fast, so if anyone has a question, like, raise your hand, let me know, because it's a lot, and I'm trying to tie it all in really quick. All right, so next is influencers. Influencers, like, unfortunately, I feel like at this time, influencers is just really crucial to work with. They suck. A lot of influencers suck. I'm gonna just tell y'all straight up. It's really, really hard to work with influencers because, they got it good. All they got to do is post a picture in it and, look cute, and that's it. They get paid hella guap. But it takes money to make money. And I say that because in the beginning, I worked with so many influencers that never responded back to me. They just got my waist trainers, my fajas, and they just took it. They didn't post anything. I paid hundreds of dollars to influencers, and I never got anything back. And that just goes to, you gotta spend money to make money. But you will find an influencer that one influencer is gonna make a big impact and it's gonna make your brand grow. But it's just one of those things in e-commerce that you just gotta do it with e-commerce. You gotta do it with influencers. It's just, I don't think there's any way around it. You have to work with influencers if you want your e-commerce site to work. And it's no ifs, ands, or buts. And with influencers, I would say I've worked at least 100 different influencers since I started. Yes. And honestly, it's helped a lot. It's, in a way, kind of free promotion because a lot of them don't charge, which I'm going to talk about now. So looking for influencers, the number one way is looking through your Explore page. So your Explore page is going to have, all types of photos, right? But they're going to be whoever you follow. Those are the people that they like, that they follow, that they interact with. Those are the people you want to work with in your e-commerce site. Because if one of your followers likes this influencer, if she posts a photo with your product, she's more than likely going to buy it from her. Because she's like, oh, you know what, she got it on, I'm going to buy it too. And that's just one of the 5 steps, the 5 times that they need to see it in order for them to buy your product. So remember I said it takes 5 times for a customer to see it. That's another way of them seeing it. So I also have an influencer checklist. For the checklist, I personally created this checklist because of so many influencers working with me and not coming through for me. So the first one is making sure your influencer matches your target audience. So that means age, gender. Like I said in the beginning, don't work with an influencer that's 60. Well, it depends on what you're selling, right? But don't work with an influencer that is a teenager and not going to market your product. Like, they're more than likely going to have teenager followers, and those teenagers can't afford your product or won't be interested in your product. So you don't want to work with an influencer in that sort of realm, depending on what you're selling. Next one is going through the followers and making sure that they're real followers. These influencers buy fake followers. They buy them. It's true. So you want to just click on the people that follow them and just go through. If you see a whole bunch of fake pages, you see no profile pics, more than likely they work with an agency or they work with someone and bought those followers. And what's going to happen when they promote your product, you're going to get fake sales. You ain't going to get nothing because they know when to sell to. Next thing is the same, photo comments. See if they're genuine. So there's always Autobots. You have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. So making sure that they're actual genuine comments. So if you see a whole bunch of emojis and not real, like, oh girl, you look cute or anything like that, that means it's probably a bot. They probably bought the comment. They probably bought the like, and it's the same. You ain't gonna get no sale from a fake profile. And lastly, make sure they post often. So if you see they're posting like once a week, twice a week, or even maybe like every 2 weeks, but they post often on their story, that's a good influencer to work with. But if you see this influencer does not post that often, they post like once a month, then more than likely that's how long they're going to take to post your product too. And you don't want someone that's going to take months to give you results. This is just a little screenshot of average costs with influencers. Influencers all depends on the engagement rate as well. I fall in a lot where I work with a lot of influencers and they try to take advantage of the fact that you need their help, so they overcharge a lot of times. And unfortunately, a lot of businesses fall for it. And when you're beginning an e-commerce site, you want to hold on to all the money you can. So, for example, let's say I have the 80K to 120K followers, around $100 to $300 for one feed post. If you have someone that has 50K followers and they're telling you that it's $300 for a feed post, they probably just trying to take advantage of you. You just want to have an idea of what to pay for when it comes to influencers, because you don't want them to take advantage of you and take whatever marketing budget you have. I also want to talk about micro influencers, which are followers that are under 10,000. Those are really, really good right now because those micro influencers have they have more trust. Their followers have more trust in them because it's a smaller following, and more than likely those followers are probably buy more from you rather than a bigger influencer that has more followers. And a lot of times the influencers that have less than 10,000, a lot of times they won't even charge you. They just want to be able to be put out there. They want other companies to see that they're doing it too, that they're promoting companies. So I've gotten a lot of luck working with micro influencers for that same reason, because their followers have more trust in them. And like I said, most of the time they don't charge, they just want you to send them the product. And if they do ask for a fee, it's usually $50 to like max $80. If they ask more for that, then I wouldn't think it's worth it for a micro influencer. Alright, so next is quick links. So the human's attention span is literally 2 to 3 seconds. So if you don't catch their attention within the first 2 to 3 seconds, they're just going to get out of your website and they're not going to buy. I feel like 80% of online purchases are impulse purchases, and you want to make sure that you get that impulse purchase on your e-commerce site. So when you have your quick links very visible for someone to see, when they get onto your website, they're more likely to go ahead and purchase from you. Don't nobody want to go click on the menu tab, wait for the drop tab to fall, look for the shop, look for the item, then click on it, to then click on the item, to then see the description, and then add it onto the cart. It's too much. So if you have quick links that go directly to the point, they're more than likely going to purchase from you. So this is 2 examples that I have from my personal website. And honestly, if you look at any big e-commerce site, this is how theirs are set up too. I take examples of a lot of other e-commerce sites. I get inspiration from them. I see that it's working for them, so I'm gonna try it out too. So this is the home page on a mobile like home. And it says shop now, and it doesn't blend in with the background. It's very straight to the point, shop now. And it says embrace the curves. That's literally what we do. You wanna solve the problem for that person. My problem that I'm solving is I can get you curves. That's straight to the point. That's what they want. They can click it and they're ready to buy, right? Same goes for this other one down here. If you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, there's another shop now link. So if you get on the homepage, you literally see at least 15 quick links to shop now, because the more access someone has, the more accessible it is and more likely to purchase, that impulse purchase. And then lastly, the really, really important one is this bottom one. I know you guys really can't see it too much, but this is an actual product page. And the first button, it says add to cart. It's white, it is not that bright, but the one next to it is pink, it's bright. That's the first one you see, and it says buy now. That is the impulse purchase. When a customer sees buy now, they're like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it now. It takes them straight to the checkout. They don't need to fill anything in. It fills it in for them. They don't need to wait for put in their zip code, to get the taxes, to get all that. It strictly takes them straight. It fills it in, and there goes your impulse purchase. Meanwhile, when people go to add to cart, they kind of want to shop a little bit more, and more than likely you won't complete the sale because they won't come back. All right, next is marketing with email, so automatic emails. If you have an e-commerce site, you have to have these automatic emails. Like, it's a must, and it's free. Like, if you don't do it, then you're just losing money. You're automatically losing money. So the very first one, the most important one, is come back to cart emails. So have you ever been on a website where you add it to the cart and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of money, I'm gonna get out, I'm not gonna buy this, and you scroll out of it, right? A lot of companies will come back and email you or send you a text message, right? Like, hey, you abandoned your cart, come back. You want to add that to your e-commerce site so that they can come back. You don't lose that person. There's also another application I'm going to show afterwards that helps with that, but this is a free way to get it. Every e-commerce site allows you to do automatic emails to come back to the cart. The next one is reminder to review after purchase. So on Shopify, they have an option where you to send the email automatically to leave reviews, but the only thing with that is when it sends the email, it doesn't give them the option to click on it and go to the product that they purchased. And that ends up the customer not even leaving you a review because they're too lazy to go back to the page and to find the product and to leave a review. Unless they're really inclined to leave a review, but more than likely they won't. But when you're starting off an e-commerce site, I feel like that's a good way to start if you don't have the budget to work with applications that actually charge you to do that. And lastly is sales, new styles, services, and new restock coming in emails. So the basic, you know, like those Fashion Nova emails that you get springtime or, you know, new restock or whatever, right? Just don't get annoying. Don't get annoying. Don't be sending like an email every single day to your customer. They're gonna end up unsubscribing and we're gonna get a sale. But you definitely want to set up automatic emails on your e-commerce site showing when you're dropping, when you're restocking a new style, you have a sale. Always make sure you have those automatic emails, and it's like less stress because you just plan it for every month and it just sends it out automatically. So now I'm going to talk about the marketing apps I use on Shopify that help me increase my sales. Like this is the real deal right here. Now these apps, you do have to pay a subscription to add it onto your website. So when you begin, you can pick and choose on what you like and what you would like to add. But I definitely recommend adding at least one of these on your site because it makes a huge difference. So the first one is Busy Social Proof. So I'm gonna show you an example on the actual site before I do. Social proof is just literally what it is, social proof. A customer wants to know that whatever they're purchasing is going to be worth their value, that everyone else is using it. So let me show you what that is. I'm going to pull up EmShapewear. So I'm on the home page. I'm going to shop now. It'll pop up in a little bit. I'm scrolling. I'm looking at what I want. Let's say I want this. Okay, I'm looking at fajas. I'm going to click on this. Where's the pop-up? It should pop up any moment. Where is it? Where you at? Okay, the pop-up's not popping up.
She look like Jill Scott.
Right? Right, yeah.
She does.
She is so sweet too. My pop-up's not popping up. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Someone from Brownsville, United States recently purchased a black GG waist trainer 12 minutes ago. So that pop-up, when a customer sees that pop-up, they're like, oh, you know what? Someone's actually buying. Like, let me buy it too. It just gives them that social proof that like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one on this website buying. It just helps with increasing the sales. And like I said, it is a subscription app that you would add on your e-commerce site. I think it's like $10 a month. So I feel like to begin an e-commerce site, that is a good op to use, a good application. The next one is Candy Rack one-click upsell. So this is like one of those like monumental sort of ones for me that really help me increase my sales. So I'm gonna go shop now. Let's say I wanna get this waist trainer right here. I'm gonna click on this and I'm about to add it to my cart. Add to cart. What this app does is provide this pop-up right here. Get extras for your product. So this is creating like a sort of urgency and also a discount to add a product onto your cart. So instead of getting, this waist trainer is $60. So instead of someone buying $60 worth of product, I give an option like, oh, well, you want to add the cream, you get $5 off if you add it right now. They add it to their thing, and you can customize it as well. So my whole theme is like getting snatched, get your waist snatched or whatever, right? It says get snatched now. So they're like more inclined to purchase like, oh, I'm gonna look good. If I buy this, I'm gonna buy it. And so they add it to the cart. So now from going from $60, you're now at $85. And that's the goal when you're, trying to increase your sales. So that's what that pop-up does. Like I said, it's also a subscription. I think this one's like $20, but like I said, it's definitely worth it. Like it's worth $20. It's not compared to what the sales you're gonna get. The next one is Lux Photo Review, and that one I will always also show you on here. So I run out of breath. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, so this is a photo review right here. What this app does is that when a customer purchases from you, about a week later, once you receive it, it sends them an automatic email like, hey, you purchased this product. Would you be kind enough to leave us a review? If you leave us a review, we'll give you a 10% off discount next time you purchase. So people come, leave a review, leave their photos and all that. I recently just started working with this application because there's a lot of other applications that do the same, but they're not as effective. And this one was more effective for me, so that's why I switched up to this application. It is tiered on the subscription you want. It depends on how many emails they would send. I think the cheapest one is like $12. So it's things that are manageable that you can add on that, $12 is like 2 trips to Starbucks. So, and like it just, like when you see that on a website, you're like, man, I think I want to buy from them. They see all the photos, they see the reviews, they're like, you know what, I'm going to buy from them. I like it. So, yeah, that's that one. And the next one is SMS bump marketing and automation. So remember earlier when I was talking about how you get an email of, hey, you abandoned your cart or whatever, right? Well, EmShapewear does the same thing in your text messages. Sis, we gonna message you. We're gonna be like, hey, you left something in your cart, come back. But like I said, you want to make it personal to your brand. So the same for me is Snatch. Everything's Snatch. So it has a little. This is a screenshot, so you can't see it, but it's like a little. What is it called? A GIF or GIF? A GIF, whatever. It's basically this woman. She's like snatched. She's like.